If she was an actual victim of abuse, she would have just left. That is a stupid thing to say, and here's why. So a lot of people talk about fight or flight mode, but let me tell you something that nobody seems to be talking about. There are 4 trauma responses: fight, flight, freeze, or fawn. So let's break down the fawn response. A trauma response is an automatic behavior or reaction that's triggered by a past experience. The fawn response is when the victim tries to please the abuser to minimize their harm. The fight response involves aggression or confrontation when you're faced with the threat. The flight response is when you avoid the threat altogether or you try to escape. And the freeze response is when you just feel paralyzed. But I find the fawn response to be the most fascinating because that's the one that victims and survivors get judged the most for. You might get accused of not really being abused or liking the abuse. But it's a survival mechanism. A victim of abuse might actually be overly accommodating, compliant, or even submissive to their abuser. And this isn't on purpose, right? But it actually masks the abuse. In a fawn response, victims don't even seem like they're scared. They might even defend the abuser. So in an abusive relationship, this might look like a victim going along with whatever the abuser wants. It might look like the victim always putting the abuser's needs above their own. They might make excuses for the behavior. They might downplay it. So let me ask you, does this resonate with you? Does it sound like you use the fawn response? I know I definitely did, but the thing is, our responses actually can change depending on the person or the dynamic or the circumstance. In looking at myself, I often saw that I would either fight or fawn, which I realize are like polar opposites. Let me know in the comments if you want to hear more about the other 3 trauma responses. If you are experiencing the trauma response of fawn, seek therapy, get into my Trauma Bond recovery course, really start learning about yourself. Recognizing the patterns is the first step in breaking free from this.